Every one of us has heard the question, what are your passions? At least a few times in their life. But what are passions really? Are they an emotional state which brings us joy, an activity we love, something we do regularly? Well, it depends from person to person. But more importantly, what do people who can't answer this question go through? As it turns out, I am one of those people. When somebody asked me, what are your passions? I would either lie to myself and to the person in front of me by saying a simple activity which I didn't even like, just to change the subject, or get defensive and feel somewhat embarrassed that I had not found my passion already, like everybody else around me. I felt alone. As I tried my best to avoid the question over the years, one day at our club, we started planning our speeches. And what do you know? We had to write down 3 passions of ours and present our ideas at the next meeting. Of course, I put the assignment off until the last moment. But once time caught up with me, I found myself sitting at my desk 10 minutes before the meeting, hopelessly looking at empty passion badges. I was nervous and felt disappointed in myself because I knew the others were going to be prepared to talk about how their passion changed everything. I tried to calm my nerves and actually do a little bit of self-reflection on my situation on the matter. I was aware of the fact that everyone's life was influenced by their passions. But then I thought about my life, about myself, and how much I've changed over the years, despite not having discovered my passion yet. I asked myself, why is that? This question made me realize that I changed because of the new people I met, because of the new experiences of all kinds I went through. Maybe even joining new clubs at my high school played a role in it. I was trying to find out more about myself, not about my passions, and that is what made all the difference. Adding to this, I had many interesting conversations with friends of mine about finding a passion and all the stress that comes with it, which is caused by this constant pressure many of us are under. Despite all this, my friend looked at me one day with a smirk on his face and said, I don't really care. I'm just along for the ride. I was quite impressed with what he said, especially because it wasn't said in a I don't care kind of way, but more of a whatever happens, happens way. His words were what helped me change my perspective. And when I remember what he said in those 5 minutes of self-reflection, that's when I decided I was going to write a speech about why it is okay to not have discovered your passion yet. There are so many people of all ages who haven't found their passion yet, and they feel pressure by society and the people in their personal lives to choose a path. I am here to tell you why I encourage you to not pursue having a passion. Because of that stress and pressure, we lose ourselves in the process, and maybe we end up choosing something we don't even like, instead of shifting our focus towards the most important gift which we receive when looking for a passion. The actual journey you went on, which led up to you finding your passion. People forget to appreciate the things they learn along the way. And maybe that's because someone tells you something that's not necessarily in your field of interest. But we mustn't forget that knowledge is power. I fell into this trap some time ago. I used to hate reading. I would refuse to listen to any recommendation and blow up any conversation about books. But after time, I stopped projecting this repellent attitude and I started actually listening to people's recommendations. And what do you know? Reading is pretty much all I do now. I guess we could call it a passion because it brings me extreme joy and I really feel at peace when I'm reading. So now comes the question, isn't it weird that having an open mind could help us learn so much, not only about ourselves, but also about our passions? This is precisely what we need to do. Even if you already have a passion, even if you don't, you need to be aware of the journey you are already on, the journey of discovery, and be open to learning new things, not only about yourself, but about the world around you. This way, life becomes much more enjoyable. We start actually living the experience, not seeking its results. All my life, I've been looking for this joy, confidence, relief, and positivity, which comes from finally finding a passion. When all along they were just under my nose. I took my experiences for granted and the people I met because I thought they wouldn't make me feel as complete, as joyful as a passion ever could. When my way of thinking started to change, I realized that I was terribly wrong about it all. I started being grateful for every person I met, good or bad, for every experience I had, no matter how dumb it was, because they are all part of who I am today. Actually living them without the question, could this become a passion in the back of my mind? This way, I became as happy as I could be. I wasn't tied up anymore in this twisted mind game of trying to please everybody and fit in. I wasn't pressured to find a passion anymore because I was living it. I am now focused on living in the present rather than in the future. I let go and I started living in the moment. As a consequence, I feel much more engaged in conversations about a huge variety of topics. I was more concentrated on my tasks, and somehow, after letting go of the I need to find a passion mindset, I became more organized and actually discovered some new activities which I'm very interested in, such as politics, reading, chess, art. I guess we could even call them passions now. I focused on what I could learn from every experience I had and found myself in a very pleasant state of gratitude and happiness. I wasn't feeling lost anymore because I stopped forcing myself to look for something I shouldn't be looking for in the first place, a passion. Because passions don't have a schedule. They aren't programmed and they certainly do not last forever. They come and go, but the experience and the journey you went on to get there is what stays with you. The path is what makes us passionate. From all the moments and the things that happened before you found it, the emotional investment and dedication of pursuing the passion, to finally starting a new journey once you lose that spark. This experience is constant. It is part of us. And I'm here to tell you that instead of stressing over the end result on finding out what your passions are, sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey you are already on as I'm speaking. Everything you learn and everyone you meet will guide you towards finding a new passion. And you will find one soon enough, I promise. But until then, never forget that a certain passion already exists within you. It is there and it will never cease to exist. It will keep you going in times of need and it will help you stay present. The passion of finding a passion. Thank you.